Look what I just got in the mail today. I only had one Ensley Reign palette and I loved it. And I still love it. It's the Cold Moon palette. I wanted to see if it was hit or miss and if they could do it again. And absolutely yes, this is really, really gorgeous. And one of the things that I really, really like about this is the indie palettes, a lot of times they have very wild color stories. They are super interesting and fun, and you can get really cool looks and stuff like that, but they are a little bit hard to use in everyday life. This one has all of those beautiful shimmer shades, but they do it in a little more muted, a little more everyday colors. It's like everyday special. That is right up my alley. I think that in general, these are made for a little bit darker skin tones than what I am, but this works just great for my skin tones, especially even with cooler skin tones. I'm the second to fairest of the fair. I can wear almost all of these colors, and that is really unusual for such big, shimmery kind of, interesting kind of palette that you usually get from Ensley Reign. So as much as I love the Cold Moon palette, this one I think I'm gonna wear probably a lot more. Like, I will go to the Cold Moon palette when I am looking for something very, very specific, something very cold, very ice fairy looking, and it's beautiful for that. This is actually a bit of an everyday palette. Let's go ahead and get into the swatches. I will go over all of the different shades, and then I'll show you all the different looks, including this one that I got today out of it. Let me show you why you need this particular palette if you are really interested in this kind of shimmer and you also really like indie palettes, but you weren't sure which one you wanted to invest in, because these are an investment at $75 plus shipping, right? Let me show you why I think this might be the one to move on. I really, really love this. This is so great. I got so many good looks with it. Okay, let's go ahead and get into those swatches, and then I'll show you the looks and give you my final thoughts. All right, let's go. Okay, let's start with the packaging. Obviously gorgeous, nice magnetic closure, keeps everything together, good mirror on it. And then this is something new I haven't seen from them before. They have these little covers to keep their glitters from like just going everywhere, which honestly you kind of need because they're super soft. Okay, let's start with Synchronicity. Nice, creamy matte. This is what I've come to expect from them. Lots of pigment to it. Just really smooth, great blending shadow. Okay, next, now this is called Sharing Space, and this really doesn't swatch that well, honestly. Like, I can't really see it here. You see me, I keep trying. There we go. Now you can kind of see it. So it's such a light color that it's hard to see. So next is Soul Sisters. This is just a great kind of darker to medium brown, and an even darker brown is Grounded. And, really, these performed really well on my eyes. I was happy with them. These remind me, this gray here called Beloved reminds me very much of the grays and the browns that are in the Cold Moon palette. So far, good purple. This one is sort of a medium. It's right between like a warm and a cool purple. Really good pigment, nice and smooth. This one, Feet on the Ground. Really, probably not my favorite color. It reminds me of baby poop, but I think it actually works really well with some of the looks. Now this one's sort of pale. This is called Passing of Time. There's a very similar color to this in the Cold Moon palette, but it's a little more pigmented than this one. And then this is Soul Sisters and Naive Melody. Wow. And then Girlfriend is Better. I really like this green. It's sort of a camo green. That yellow is like, whoa. It's kind of fun to use, but I don't know how much I'm going to use it. Okay, let's move on to the shimmers. This one's called Lucid Shine. And, just exactly like what I would expect from most of their shimmers. Flaky, very squishy, kind of all over the place. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is called Besties. That is a beautiful color. And this is Glimmer in Time. Nice solid gold. Another kind of more yellow gold, eyes that light up. These are just I mean, kind of one swipe gorgeous. That's Prismatic Glow, slight pink tone to that one, pinkish purple. And this is Home, beautiful pewter. All of these are some of my favorite colors. What is this one? Head in the Sky. Now, I don't think, again, like kind of like that yellow, I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of this particular color, but it is there. It's really pretty. This is one of my favorite colors, Endless Light. I find that I use this one a lot. It's a good medium to warm silver. And this is MJ. This is one of my favorite colors. This is their green, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And then finally, this one, Radiant Soul. This one didn't swatch that well. It's fine. This is not a color I think I'm gonna use a ton, just because it's sort of an orangey red to blue. That's not really for me, but these other colors, aside from that yellow one, I think are just amazing. Okay, so here's kind of what the whole palette looks like, all next to each other. I'm under studio lights, but I tried to correct it as much as I can for basically natural light. So yeah, here we go. A little bit more like harsh lighting so you can see the sparkle a little bit more. And just look at it, look at those beautiful sparkles. Okay, let's get started with the looks. That's going to be next. Okay, I'm gonna start with that really hard to see one called Sharing Space. I love these kind of colors. As you can see on my eyes, it makes this really natural sort of crease. So even though it didn't swatch that well, it really makes a great crease. And then next I am using Beloved, which is that gray. And I'm just sort of deepening the crease and the corner with that. These, I mean, just barely did I tap into those, and they are blending really well together. Yes, really impressed with how easy these are to use. And now we're gonna go in with that purple, Once in a Lifetime. I'm gonna try to do sort of a purpley silver kind of look on this side, very similar to what I got out of the Huda Beauty, the Icy Nude one that we just did. And that purple is so intense, I'm actually going to take this other sort of blending brush and just sort of try to windshield wiper it out so I can sort of just blend it all without it just being really harsh. And you can see how easy that was. The quality of these shadows is fantastic. Okay, let's get into the shimmer. It's what I'm always waiting for. This is sort of a purple shimmer. This is Prismatic Glow. And this was the first one I was really drawn to. Turns out I think I kind of like other shimmers in this even better, more usable. But this was the one that I thought looked really pretty in the beginning. And it is. It's really pretty. So I kind of lost some of the detail I had in the edge doing this. So I'm going to go back and fix that. But I mean, that's just one little application. I'm going to try the lightest color in the shimmer called Lucid Shine. I tend to not like my whites to have a lot of other colors in it, and this one does, but I wanted to see how it would work because I almost always go light in the center to dark on the edge, just because otherwise my eyes look a little too close together. It worked out okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to put the purple wing back in by just sort of using just a little bit and tapping it. As you can see, I'm really not getting hardly any fallout. These shadows are so easy to blend and so easy to work with. Comparing these to some of the high-end ones that I have spent the same amount of money on recently, these are like a no-brainer. These are so much better quality. And you know, I'm not like a makeup chemist. I can't tell you exactly why. What I can do is show you how these kind of things perform. I am not a makeup artist. I am a little bit more than a layman, but you know, I really want you to see how you can expect to, you know, have these work for you if you don't totally know what you're doing, because that's me too, right? Okay, so I added this a little bit brighter color called Passing of Time. I wanted to make this look a little more interesting, give it a little more depth, a little more warmth, and I'm going to try to add that shimmer back in. You will see I go back and forth because if you've seen my videos before, I want you to have the sort of unboxing experience as the same as me. This is the first time I'm playing with these as well. And this is kind of what you can expect. So we're just sort of playing with makeup together, and then at the end you can decide whether this seems like something that you would want to get for yourself or not, right? Okay, so I think this look right here looks really good, and you could totally leave it right here, just put some lashes, maybe a little bit of liner on, but I'm gonna play some more, so let's try that yellow and purple. If you don't know, I'm an artist, or I was an artist, so I do know some about color theory, and yellow and purple are sort of complementary colors. And so it's kind of fun to put them on either, to put them together. And so I just wanted to see how this performs. With cheap eyeshadows, they will blend away and they won't show like this one does. So I'm putting the purple wing back in. I kind of overdo it, you'll see, at this point, because again, I'm playing. But as you can see, if you don't blend out a ton that yellow, it really gives you a nice solid yellow that you can really have show on your eyes. I'm gonna play some more and blend. We're gonna put some of the other shimmers sort of in the middle, and I'm gonna kind of go back and forth with this particular look. All of these, so I'm blending that yellow out, so it's just gonna basically end up sort of warming up my purple and muddying everything up, which is fine. That's, I'm playing. And sometimes that's the look I want. Sometimes I don't want like a really, really colorful look. So this one is going to end up looking very much like some of the looks I got out of Huda Beauty, but the shimmers, as you can see, are much more metallic, much more shimmery. So this particular one, the purples and the shimmers, looks exactly like a much more intense version of what I've been getting out of my Huda Beauty Icy Nudes. So very, very similar. So if you are interested in that particular palette and you haven't gotten it yet, you can get that look from this palette, but I'm going to show you can get a bunch of other looks out of this palette as well. So it might be a better deal. I think this is gorgeous. It might be a better deal to actually get this palette versus the Huda Beauty Icy Nudes. Okay, so that green is just like, I have to get into it. So let's do that look over on this eye. So I'm gonna start with that beautiful, look at how creamy this blending, what is it, synchronicity. Look at how creamy that is. I mean, it's just, the Huda Beauty has something really similar and does this as well. In fact, so like the base of this look is something you can also get from the Huda Beauty palette. Like right there, you could just leave it. That would be a beautiful daytime look, just because it blends so well and it looks so soft and pastel-y. It's very, very flattering. You could totally leave it here, just put a little bit of mascara on. But it's me, we're gonna play with this. I want to get into those greens. So this is that camo green, Girlfriend is Better. This, I kind of wish it was not so camo-y. It's got this sort of olivey green undertone. The reason I say that is because when you blend it with other things, it very quickly goes to almost a brown. But I still think it's good, and some of that is just because of the way I have blended it. If you wanted it to really stand on its own, it would. But here's the one I really wanted to get into, that's the MJ. This is that green shimmer. I am a sucker for, if you put a green shimmer in just about any palette, I am gonna buy it. I cannot help myself, and this one is no exception. This is so pretty. This I wasn't really expecting a lot. It's a little bit different than some of the other green shimmers that I have. It is very much, it reminds me a little more of the Cold Moon palette. It's a little more blue undertoned and it's very ethereal. It is not quite as emerald green as what I'm used to. So what I'm doing now is I'm using some of that Head in the Sky. It's got a little bit more of the gold. What I'm trying to do is mix the blue undertone to the more olive undertone. I'm trying to bring the two together. in case you're wondering like what the heck I'm doing. So now I'm messing with see, that's my yellowish gold. I'm trying to get the two to basically form sort of more of a more neutrally or cohesive green. And again, I'm playing, but I think in the end, I do end up you get little bits of that bluish undertone, but it overall starts leaning more olive green, just a little more of a warmer, more neutrally kind of green. There we go. So you could just leave it here. I think this is gorgeous, but I went ahead and put a little wing on, and I think this is super, super wearable. Very, very beautiful. You can put and pile on more of that green shimmer if you want to really go for it, but I I tend to do that too much, and so I wanted to try and make a little bit more everyday wearable kind of glam. Here's where I took both of those looks and I married them together so that I could leave the house later that day. So this is both a mix of the purple look and the green look together, which also I think looks really, really good. And just super, super wearable. And then I'm going to move on to the final look. We'll kind of go a little bit faster. This is your neutrals look. So I'm going to start with that really beautiful like crease gray that is super light, might not show on other people, definitely shows on me. And we're gonna mix it. This is gonna be basically a cool and warm neutral look in the end using all of the shimmers. I'm not going dead cool and I'm not going super warm. I want to sort of have it be like silver and gold, something that would be really great for holiday wear, but also every day. So here's all of the sort of like different silver to gold shimmers. I'm trying to decide which way I want to go. So that pewter color, home, this is absolutely gorgeous. I love these deep silvers with a little bit of either cool or warm in them to make them interesting. But a lot of times it's hard for me to pull this off. It's awfully dark on me. So the way that I make it more wearable is I mix it with a gold and something light, and I slowly start bringing it towards the center. It starts getting lighter. And that way it really just becomes a deepened shadow on the outside. And you can see how much better that looks on me versus like looking like I have a black eye, right? And it's all about just getting a nice blend. And as you can see, you can just do this with your fingers. You really don't, especially with these kind of like this kind of glitter and shimmer, it's really hard to use anything but your finger for these kind of, things. You can put down NYX glitter glue or any other glitter glue, and you can really spray a brush. It's hard to pick it up without your fingers' oils doing it for you. Okay, so I think this is really pretty mix of gold and silver, and I'm going to deepen the outside crease. I am going to be using, they have both Soul Sisters and Grounded, and what? There's two holy crap. You guys, I am looking at this. There are two shades called Soul Sisters. What? Okay, so there's a brown called Soul Sisters and there is a gray called Soul Sisters. What the hell? So anyway, I've had this thing for several days and I just noticed this. Okay, anyway, so I am using the dark gray Soul Sisters on the bottom. And here's the final look with a little bit of a wing. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I could wear this every day. This really just, perfect holiday look that is not your standard holiday look, but it's very like silver and gold classy. I love this. Yes. That should give you a pretty good idea of what you can do with this palette, what it's good for, why I like it so much. It is so everyday glamour for me personally, and I think that most of the shades, aside from maybe some of those mustard shades in there, which I actually kind of like as little pops of color, they're interesting, but if it were me, I might take those out and sub them for something else, maybe more greens or something like that, or a blue. That's the one thing I feel like it's missing is a blue. I wouldn't mind a blue in here, but honestly, this is one of the most wearable, beautiful, versatile, like this is gonna work for cool undertones, this is gonna work for neutrals, for warm. I think this is one of those like just right palettes. I just love this. I mean, I don't know what else I can say about it. I do think that the price is worth it. I don't know where these are manufactured, but I know that Ensley Reign is in Grants Pass, Oregon, which is actually like, I don't know, 6 hours away from where I am. Not that far. It got to me pretty fast. They said that their shipping time is about 15 days. I think it kind of probably depends on where you live as far as how long it takes to get to you, but I got this sooner than expected, so I was pretty happy with that. I mean, I think this is really, really good. I've heard that there is some drama around Ensley Reign. I don't know what that's about. Some of it had to do, I know one thing had to do with whether they were using AI art or not. I'm not really in all of that. What I can tell you as a consumer and a beauty lover is that I have now bought 2 big palettes from them. The mattes are super creamy, blendable, beautiful. Some of the best mattes that I have, honestly. They're some of my favorites. And now I have some more neutral colors in there, which I'm so happy with. So that's why I'm going to reach for this quite a lot, actually. I hope they keep making versions of this that go like a little warmer, a little cooler. Like, I love this. If you were on the fence about like dipping your toe into something like an indie palette, and there are so many good brands out there. This one's pretty expensive. I can tell you that this is the second one I've gotten from them. I have not experienced any drama. I am very happy with the quality. Everything, like the shipping was pretty fast considering, and it was so well packed. It was, they don't skimp on anything. So it was bubble wrapped. It came in this beautiful, this is like magnetic. It came in here wrapped. It was bubble wrapped. This was new. They had the little covers over the glitters so that they wouldn't get everywhere. This was the box that it came in. There was like one layer of bubble wrap. Oh, another sleeve. This over the colors. And then a ginormous bubble wrap. And that whole thing was nicely, wrapped in tissue paper. So, yes, it's expensive, but you're getting really high quality. From what I can see, really high quality, beautiful color story, and really, really nice packaging and everything. So I would say that like this compared to what I got, where did it go? I don't even have it close because I'm just not using it that much. The quality of this compared to the similarly priced new Mario is not even in the same ballpark. Like what are you doing here? This is not it. These are pretty. They're nice. Not near as nice as this. These managed to be blendable with no fallout, whereas these, there's a lot of fallout. They are nice and blendable, but I mean, you're not getting anywhere near the amount of colors, and the shimmers are like, that's not even the same thing. The other thing that I would note with these is that you have to be okay with shimmer fallout. I did use some NYX glitter glue and that helped some, but when I was trying it on, I kind of was being stupid and I didn't do it in the beginning. So I had a ton of glitter fallout. That is definitely part and parcel for something that is going to be this glittery. So if you're not into cleaning up some glitter or using something to really affix it, this is going to drive you insane. This is what they do, is these beautiful, soft, shimmery glitters, but there is some fallout from those. However, they're mattes. No, not really. Maybe the darkest ones if you were to pile it on. But, that's kind of true of any of these. Okay, so I think I've talked about it enough. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you've tried this or if you have some questions about comparing this to other palettes and what I think is worth it versus not. Pluses, minuses, I'm here for you there. Leave it down below. I love talking to you guys, so just down in the comment box, I'll get right back to you and we can discuss. Okay, if you like this kind of content and you haven't subscribed yet, I sure would appreciate it, as it really helps my channel to grow and then I can reach more people. All right, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.